Why did you become a recording artist?
Because I felt like it was meant for me, and it was my destiny, to be honest.
When did you get that feeling in your life?
When, I was going around showing my music, and I was getting like the same reaction. I was going into different rooms where no one knows who I am, but they're reacting the same way every time I go somewhere. And that inspired me to just keep going and going and going, and I got the same result.
What do you think that age was when you got that feeling there in your life?
Like, yeah, I gotta take it seriously.
No, just that feeling of this was your destiny.
Probably when,
Or what grade, perhaps?
I would say like when I got incarcerated and I came out, that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna take it seriously and take it to the next level. And when I lost my close brother, and after that, I just locked in.
In regards to those two situations there, when you say incarceration, we're talking jail, we're talking prison?
Yeah. Juvenile.
Juvenile.
I was like 14, 15 when I got in trouble with the law and shit.
And how much time did you have to serve?
Like a year and change or something like that.
And that was fighting the case, or that was the actual punishment after the case?
Everything in one. So fighting the case and the actual punishment after.
I see. And what was that for, if you don't mind me asking?
Firearm.
And in regards to your brother?
Yeah.
Biological brother?
Yeah, we're blood.
Okay. How did he pass?
Murder. And yeah.
When it came to rap music specifically, how did you get into that genre of music?
Just because like my upbringing was hip hop, and that's what I'm inspired by, to be honest. To be like, I was brought up from like DMX and like 50, Jay-Z, Eminem, like the list goes on, and that's kind of what was going on in my household. So,
These, you would say, your musical influences?
For sure. Like I have a long list though. Like my list is like, we'll be here forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do you think was at the top of that list though for you?
I would say Jay-Z. Damn, this is tough. Pac for sure. Biggie. Damn. Eminem. Outkast.
Yeah, the list is getting long already.
Yeah. A lot, yo. Like a lot. Even like certain singers like Michael Jackson, Aaliyah, even Timbaland and Missy. Yeah, DMX, like the whole industry. Like,
Was Jay-Z at the very top of all these lists? Or was Michael Jackson at the top of the singer list?
oh, damn.
Or is it just more so just the artist you named?
Yeah, like the artist I named, like D-Block was at the top of my list. Like Jada, Styles P, like those are my favorite artists. Sheek Louch, like that's always gonna be my favorite, like camp, So D-Block's always gonna be at the top of my list because I grew up to those guys.
What drew you?
Pardon me?
What drew you to them?
Just like what they're talking about, I can relate to, and what they're saying is super relevant. Like they'll say something that happened like 5 hours ago, and it's like, oh, okay, it's gonna get me through my day because I know I'm not alone. And it's just like real stuff.
Ever had a chance to meet them?
Nah, that's crazy that you say that. Nah, I never met none of them. Nah, not yet, at least.
If you had the opportunity to collaborate with any of those members of D-Block, would you want to?
Yes, of course. 1,000%.
All of them or somebody in particular?
All of them. Styles P, Jadakiss, Sheek Louch, all day.
What would a song with you and them sound like?
It'd probably sound like, damn, like a locked up Akon and Styles P, but like more modernized.
And is it something you'd want to create from scratch with them? Or is it something on your hard drive perhaps you have right now that would be perfect for them?
Probably both, to be honest with you. Probably both.
When it came to rapping, because you also do sing as well, very melodic, who taught you? How did you learn to rap?
Honestly, I think just listening to music in my home and always being around that environment is what inspired me to like rap and know how to put words together and match them and certain rhythms and certain like words that go together and just like certain things. And then being around like people that know how to rap, you know, because they're inspired off of the same thing. But I always knew how to do it. Like even from a kid, like I probably put words together when I was like grade 2, you know? So it was always there.
Something you wanted to do on your own?
Yeah, like I realized this is something that I wanted to do, like for real, again, probably like high school. Because I always knew how to do it, you know? So.
Now, how many years would you say you've been perfecting your craft for at this point? Been a serious recording artist?
Well, I'm 25 right now. Oh, a serious recording artist? Yeah, so I'm 25 right now, probably like 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
And then there was a point when you signed your first recording contract with Def Jam.
Yeah.
How long into that 10-year span before you finally sign a recording contract?
8, because I signed like almost 2 years ago. So took me 8 years from taking it seriously and then getting into a situation with Def Jam.
Now, in this decade of the amount of time you spent being a serious recording artist, have you ever felt like quitting?
No, at all. Nah. I think, the best thing for artists to do is just not stop. I think you already lost when you stop. I think, if you're failing, you just need to fail more until you actually succeed. That's kind of what I go by,
Do you remember your first song or what you were rapping about back then?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do. I don't remember the lyrics word by word, but I was like, when I recorded my first song, I was probably like grade 4,
Very
grade
young.
5, grade 4, around there, probably like 8, 9.
And what were you rapping about? I know you don't remember the lyrics, but do you know what the song was called or what it was about, maybe, the subject matter?
Street shit.
That young, you were rapping that.
Street shit. Because like that's just the environment that I grew up in. Like I've never like been straight away from that environment. Like I grew up into that. I was born into that like environment. So I'm just talking about like what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, and it's what I know. You know what I mean? Like,
were any of those raps back then in 4th grade true?
it was more of what I know, like seeing somebody get caught and going to jail for a long time, or I'll rap about like, I don't know, wanting to have something, or what I would do for something, or what I would do, or my intentions. But it was more so of what was happening around me. So whatever was going on in my house, not having things, wishing I could have this. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm the biggest and baddest, and you're like 8 years old. It was more of like, oh, if I had this, then I would have did this. And, every time I walk outside, I see another brother getting harassed and whatever, or someone that passed away that was close to me. So, yeah, everything was true, yeah.
Do you remember what your first recording studio setup looked like back then when you started?
Voice memo on your phone. That was pretty much it. Voice recorders.
These days, yeah?
Yeah, but now you have like, high technology. You just open up your computer and get a mic.
These days when you're in the studio, are you a loner?
Like if I'm creating alone?
Yeah, when you're in the studio, do you like to be alone or do you like some sort of entourage with you or?
No, ultimately I like being alone. I'm writing, but I'm never gonna be closed-minded to the fact of having other people that could give ideas that you can get inspired from. So I'm like both.
And why do you like to be alone when you do write?
Because I like taking time with my process. I like, you know, experimenting and like taking hours sometimes minutes, sometimes days. There's no limit. And I'm not sure if someone wants to stay with me that long sometimes. So it's like, yeah.
When you're in the recording studio these days, top 3 things you need in the studio.
Just good energy. Good energy. Um, that's it. Just good energy. That's all I need.
Craziest studio story, if you have one. All these years of recording and making music, taking it serious. Craziest studio story, if you have one.
Oh, damn. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I have a crazy, like insane studio story. I think every time I recorded a song in the studio was a moment within itself. I don't think, yeah, I don't know.
What's your recording process like these days?
Hear the beat, think of a melody, put some words to it.
I want to break some of these elements down. You are a writer today?
Yeah, I'm a writer. I write my own stuff.
Some people freestyle and punch in.
Yeah, I do that too. I like giving myself that space. Like I like giving myself like that space to do that instead of like blocking yourself from other ideas that could be sparked off of just going in there and freestyling. So I definitely do that too.
More writing than freestyle punching in though?
Yeah, I'm more of a writer because I'm like kind of old school, you know. Like I still have a pen and pad. A lot of artists they just go on freestyle, which is sick, but I just like, you know, sticking to my guns. So
when you started freestyling punching in, was that an influence by somebody else, or was that just natural experimentation?
that was natural experimentation because like sometimes when I was younger and stuff, I used to walk to school just thinking of stuff, you know, and whatever I caught, I just keep. So it's like I used to do that too, but there was no voice recording. Now there's a voice recording of it. So yeah.
Ever had help with your lyrics?
Oh yeah, like if I'm in the studio and I'm thinking of bars or whatever, or I'm thinking of a concept or whatever, and the homies are in the studio, they'll probably like be like, "Oh, yo, I think this sounds like you could talk about this." Or if I'm like, I have like 16 bars and I want to put 20, and I'm on like my last bar, "Oh, yo, this could rhyme with it." Like I'm not gonna be like, "Oh no, I don't want to take your rhyming word because I have a big ego now." Like I know I can write, but that's why teamwork makes the dream work, right? So.
Ever had somebody ghostwrite for you before?
Mm-mm. Nah. Well, not as of yet. Am I open to it? It depends. Like I would never let somebody like give me a whole album of something I've never wrote or nothing. If you want to make a song, like, oh, that's like someone saying, yo, I'm an artist that draws, you're an artist that draws. Could we draw a picture together? Of course. I know what you're capable of. I know what I'm capable of. Let's do something together. You know what I mean? But everyone has their differences and their whatever, so.
And vice versa, ever helped other rappers with their lyrics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's something a rapper will ask you for your help, or volunteering? Kind of like chipping in type of thing?
Both.
Ever ghost wrote for somebody else before?
Yeah, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
How does a conversation like that happen? Somebody just...
Someone just says, hey, yo, like, could you write me a song?
Mm.
I'm like, all right, cool. Write you a song.
Is it easier or harder to write for somebody else?
Easier.
Why?
Because for me, I'm a perfectionist. So it's like, I'm going to stay and write my song, rip it apart, write it again, rip it apart, write it again. But if someone just says, write me a song, and I say, oh, okay, cool. I'll just write you a song. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you do. So it is.
When it comes to your personal lyrics, how honest are they?
All facts.
When you record, Okay. Do you record inside the mic booth or outside of it?
Both. Both.
50-50?
Yeah, both. Because there's some studios that have a booth, and there's some studios that just have a mic outside of the booth, like just there.
Record sitting down or standing up?
Both.
50-50 again?
50-50, yeah.
And how do you decide there whether you sit down or stand up?
If I'm recording myself, I'll be sitting down. If someone's recording me, I'll be standing up.
Is there a difference in your voice or an energy on a song doing either one? Sitting down versus standing up?
Not really. Like, for me, no. It doesn't really matter. It depends. Sometimes you'll record, like, some of the best stuff sitting down, and no one would know that you were sitting down. You know? So it doesn't really matter.
Now, what about this? You're writing a song, and you get writer's block, which is a moment where you're stuck on an idea in the middle of the song, can't finish it. What happens at that point?
Sometimes you just gotta take a break. Take a break, or just do free writing. Just write, free writing. Or just take your mind off of that and do something else and come back to it. Or read, or go outside for fresh air, or just do something else that's non-musical to support that musical activity.
What's the longest you worked on a song, stopped because of writer's block, and then ended up finishing some other point of time?
Probably a month. And I still didn't like it. It's crazy.
When it comes to writing, ever lost lyrics that you've written? Because you're talking about the phone, voice memos,
Yeah.
or maybe actually pen and pad, I don't know. Ever lost lyrics?
Yeah, I have. I lost like something. Yeah, I lost something I was writing. But it's whatever. It's like water. You just turn on the tap and get more. So it's like, it doesn't really matter.
Ever gotten emotional creating a song?
Oh, yeah. Like, I like tapping into my emotions for certain songs that are more conscious. I like tapping in. So, yeah, 100%.
To the point where you actually shed a tear creating a song?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Make It is actually what made me, like, shed a tear because it was just so real. And I felt like it provoked my emotion so much that there's no way that this song can't provoke your emotion, even if you hate me. And once that happened, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna probably be the one that gets me out of here, and that's what ended up happening. So
When you shed a tear to something like this is actually in the creative process of
yeah,
making
like,
it?
while I'm writing it, like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, I know this song is so great, but it's so fucked up because I'm talking about something that's so fucked up. So it's like, that's crazy, right?
What's that song about?
It's just about, like, not being able to see your friends again, whether they're in jail or whether they're not here because they passed away. And, you know, you're still trying to bring your vision to life, and it's unfortunate that you lost soldiers doing it, you know? So, and just trying to get out of, you know, the hole that you're in, and just trying to see a better life. And it's just so fucked up because there's always going to be something that's holding you back. And I think everyone could relate to that because everyone has their differences and their ins and outs. So.
Sometimes when people are creating a song and they get emotional, they get voice cracks, recording, maybe they're teary-eyed or whatever, recording. Do you keep stuff like that, those raw emotion stuff that happens to you in the actual recording, or?
Nah, like, I wouldn't be crying while I'm recording the song. Like, you just hear it in my voice. Like, you just hear, like, yeah, I could tell that this person went through something because listen to how the person sounds. Listen to what they're saying. Like, there's no way that this person could be making something up that's so vivid.
Did that song ever become too much to finish? Like, maybe you got too emotional, you weren't going to be able to finish creating that song?
Nah.
Okay, what about this? When it comes to beats now, and it comes to producers, you find them or they reach out to you?
Both. 50-50.
You like when a producer cooks up from scratch right in front of you, or do you like to sift through a folder full of beats?
Both.
Ever passed on a beat
Yeah.
and it became a bigger song for somebody else?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
An Ed Sheeran song.
Do you remember the title of it?
I don't know. It's on his last album though. I'm like, damn.
How did you discover I had this beat? I could have been on this song if I wanted it.
Sometimes, you know, when you're not fast enough, then, you know, you miss the opportunity of going on the beat. Like,
No, but how
so
did you find out Ed Sheeran had been on that song?
Oh, because I was listening to his album.
Oh.
And one of the songs, I'm like, yo, I have this beat. What? Too late. So.
Okay, what about this? I want to talk about your career here a little bit. Risk versus reward. What's the biggest risk you took for your music career so far? 10 years. Biggest risk you took for it?
Just being in the streets, period.
You were active in the
active,
streets
active.
and recording at the same time.
Facts.
And did that stop at some point?
Did
you stop the street activity at some point?
Yeah, because, you know, everything that I was doing was to support this, you know, being able to be in the room with you and have these interviews in Atlanta. And that's what I was putting my money towards. That's what I was putting everything towards, my energy towards. It's just whatever I'm doing is to support this, you know, and that's what ended up happening.
And when it comes to street activity and you stopping at some point, was it a cold turkey stop, or was it a natural stopping point, like a natural progression towards stopping?
No, it's just like I'm making music now. I'm a music person.
A recording artist.
I'm a recording artist. I don't need to live that life that all of us are trying to get out. I don't think anyone's trying to live that life. It doesn't. Like, I'm sure there's someone that's rich isn't gonna be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go live a life that is either gonna put you in jail or.
Well, no, I guess what I mean, I don't mean that. I guess, okay, sometimes I've heard recording artists say it's a point in their life where they just stop, like the flip of a light switch. I'm not touching this pack of drugs anymore to sell. I'm not saying that's what you did, but I'm just saying that this is an example. All right, this is my last pack. Once it's gone, it's over with.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, everything that I did previously was to be in a better place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is my job now.
But I guess sometimes it's like a flip of a switch for somebody. They stop cold turkey at some point, and then some, it's like they're still doing a little street stuff, and then it dwindles down over time, and then, okay, now it's full-time recording.
Yeah, full-time recording. Fuck that. I already suffered and went through what I had to go through to get here. Why am I gonna slowly, gradually get like, no, your time's now, you know? Gotta move now.
Was it worth it?
If I knew the things that I went through, if I knew that I had to go through all of this shit like previously to get here, no. But at the end of the day, it's about what you do with it that makes you appreciate it.
Care to share what type of street activity it was that you got into back then?
No.
When it comes to your music career, proudest accomplishment so far in it?
When it comes to my, say that word again?
When it comes to your music career, 10 years, proudest accomplishment so far with it? Out of all the things you've done.
Being on Ballers, Black Ink Crew, having OVO 40 touch my music, having Paul Rosenberg sign me, being on Def Jam, and just being an inspiring artist, and being able to you know, change somebody else's life by just hearing my music and being inspired and being the greatest that I could be.
You mentioned several things. Was there one thing in particular that meant the most to you, that you were proud of?
That I could change someone's life that's just like me and inspire them to do something that they're destined to be.
Now, single best thing you've done for your career. So not so much an accomplishment question here. This is more like a tactic. Is there something that you've done specifically in your career that was the best thing you've done for it?
Not stop. That's about it.
Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I asked you your biggest accomplishment. What was the biggest failure so far in your music career?
I never failed because I never stopped. So I don't look at any failure as a failure unless you let it eat away at you.
How about this? Maybe the biggest mistake you made in your music career.
I don't think I made a mistake because I learned from all of them.
Now, what is the biggest misconception of you? What's one thing people think about PVRX, but it's not true?
That, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe that's a good thing, right? How about this craziest rumor you heard about yourself?
I don't know. People say a bunch of shit, but like I don't really feed into shit.
Do you ever clear them up when they happen?
If it's reality, I don't do like this internet thing. That's just not me. So it's like, all right, cool.
Sometimes I interview somebody, they have no rumors about them. And then sometimes it's a case like this. You've had people say things about you. Why do you think that is? Why you get rumors?
Because you're popping. If I was a bum, I don't think anyone, the only rumor would be is that he's a bum. There would only be one rumor. I don't even think anyone would care to even spread that rumor. But now when you're doing something, people are gonna talk. And those are your impressions. Those are the people that are actually making your stock go up. So I actually need them.
Is there a question people ask you you can't stand, maybe even hate to answer? Maybe it's the same question you get over and over again.
Nah.
Do you care what people think of you?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
You're honest when you say that.
I'm honest when I say it, because if I cared what people thought about me, I wouldn't be here doing this interview with you right now. So, yeah.
Have you always been like this, or was there a point when you did care in your life about other people's opinions of you?
No, I think I've always been like that.
What about music-wise? Do you care about people's opinions, not so much of you personally, but of your actual music?
Nah, but I like constructive criticism. So if someone hears a song and they say, oh, I think you could do this better, so all right, cool. I'll do it on the next one, you know? Whatever. Like, I'll try it.
What are your keys to success at this point? What are some things that make you successful? And this doesn't just have to be music. This could be just life, period.
That you have a life, period. So I'm already successful as long as I'm here and I'm breathing and I can see, I could walk, I could talk and do what I love. That's already like within itself like a blessing. So
growing up in your life, did you think you would make it this far as living, as far as your age? I know sometimes like in certain cities I interview somebody, they'll say, you know what, I didn't think I would make it past 18 years old or 20 years old, where they're from, because maybe things are just that crazy.
Nah, if I continue like following, the path I was on, then yeah, like there's no way. But, I realized that I could bring something to life and it's born now, so we're kicking it.